Wanderer sits in a jail in Idaho, accused of killing young Michael Vaughan.
You're pure evil. You have no heart. You have no soul.
Wanderer is accused of murdering her then 5-year-old son in 2021. Would you think you'll ever get the answer as to why?
No, because there is no answer to why. Why would somebody hurt an innocent little boy? What answer could you give? What answer could you possibly give? How scared was he? Did he ask for me? Did he ask for Tyler?
Stacey Wanderer has been charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence.
Michael "Monkey" Vaughan went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood on July 27, 2021.
This is a criminal investigation.
Now, more than 4 years later, in newly unsealed court documents, Fruitland police named 4 people they believed are involved in Michael's murder. Those 4 names are ones we've heard before.
This is Sarah Wanderer. This is Sarah's husband, Stacey Wanderer. This is Brandon Shirtliff, Adrienne Lucienne.
As for what these 4 people have in common, they were all staying at the Wanderer's home when Michael disappeared in 2021. That's just half a mile from Michael's home where he was last seen. In the PCA, police pointed to video evidence they say showing Shirtliff walking around the neighborhood. They say Shirtliff helped move Michael's body in a duffel bag temporarily to his mom's home in Kuna before standing guard as they buried him in the Wanderer's Fruitland backyard. Stacey Wanderer told police the 4 hoped to sell Michael for $10,000 each. He says the idea came from Adrien'S Lucienne. Idaho News 6 is now learning Lucienne was arrested and released in Indiana in October for a traffic-related misdemeanor. Sarah Wanderer is currently serving time in the Idaho State Prison System for unrelated charges. She's eligible for parole in early 2026.
Karen, is there any connection between the Vaughan family and the home where police had been searching?
No, we've heard this more than once from the family representatives and from the police department that there is no connection between the Vaughan family and the home where this search took place.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wanderer, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wanderer's home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wanderer's residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
An hour's worth of body camera footage showing Stacey Wanderer FaceTiming with detectives and directing to where Monkey's body was buried in his backyard.
It's like right under that mound area. It's right under the mound. About where at compared to the trees?
A little like right to the right of the trees area. It should be, it should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had two colors.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
It should be.
Okay.
I didn't watch to take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
He claims he watched the burial happen.
Okay. How far down is Michael?
I don't know how far she actually dug.
And the she he's referring to, that's his wife Sarah, another suspect in the case. Stacy says Adrienne, a third suspect, was also there for the burial.
Out of 300 homes, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the home where Stacy, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates Brandon Shirtliff and Adrienne Lucienne lived.
As Joe mentioned, a newly released probable cause affidavit filed in June lays out the interviews following Michael's disappearance. Again, during these initial searches, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the fence line of the home where Stacy Wandra, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates, Brandon Shirtliff and Adrienne Lucienne, lived. All four of those individuals have been named people of interest in Michael's disappearance. One of Michael's neighbors told police they saw Michael riding a bike outside of the Wandra's home the day that he disappeared. Another neighbor said they saw that same tricycle at the Wandra's home during a garage sale months before Michael disappeared. Wandra's initially denied any involvement, but then in November of 2022, Stacy asked to meet with investigators. The PCA states Stacy claims he was home the night Michael was allegedly abducted and saw Sarah carrying Michael into the house. Stacy allegedly told police it was Adrienne's idea to take a child to sell for money, and they would get a $10,000 cut. Stacy claims Sarah told everyone to, quote, follow her lead. Stacy told investigators they took him to Brandon's mother's home in Kuna that night, where they left Michael overnight. Stacy claims the other three returned to Brandon's mom's house the next day and brought Michael back to the Wanderer's home in Fruitland. Stacy told police Michael was not alive, and Sarah and Adrienne buried him in the Wanderer's backyard. 2 days after Stacy's interview with police, they executed a search warrant and excavated the Wanderer's backyard. The affidavit says cadaver dogs alerted to the same area where Stacy told detectives Michael's body was buried, but to this day, Michael has not been found.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys all for joining me tonight. It's December 2nd. My name is Samantha with Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. So good to be here tonight to bring you guys some more information. Information about Adrienne Lucienne, and we don't see a lot of information on Adrienne, so this is going to be good tonight. Who is here? I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know that we did. Me and the grandbabies and two of my children all got together at my daughter's house, and I bought this Christmas cardboard house from Office Max that you color. And the kids enjoyed it for a little while, but I'm not joking. My husband and my youngest daughter colored on that house for hours. So it was nice watching them color and, you know, my daughter hosting Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was just a really good family day with grandbabies, and it was very nice to also have an entire week off last week because I took on a new job. Plus, I do a lot of this, plus I do a lot of researching, and I finally was able to complete getting these clips done from this recording. So I'm very excited to, show everybody all of this. Wood chipper in the house, thank you so much for coming in. Halo Art, my beautiful moderator. Mama B is here, my other beautiful moderator. Missing persons around the world, it's so good to see you, hun. Oh my goodness, who else do we have here? We have Dean in the house, and Rhonda is here. I think this is Maud. I know who you are. I can't remember. So many new people coming in. Or not new people. I can't remember how to say her name. Charlotte's Webbing is here. Randora, Toaster, Suzanne. Thank you guys all for coming in. Why can't I pronounce anything tonight? Commander is in the house. Nicole is here. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody coming in, being supportive of Brandy, Vaughan, the Vaughan family, and Michael. I really, really appreciate that, and I know that they do. Eve Hickman, thank you so much for coming in and sharing the live, as so many others did. I've had it up for a couple of days. Pretty Assessor is in the house. I wanted to give everybody time to get ready for the live and just to get lots of people to come in and watch and hear everything. Clover is here. Jemima is here. Good to see you, hun. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, get this out in the algorithm, please. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for future lives. And if you want to subscribe. If you want to become a member, become a member. But you can lurk from in the back or just join us in chat. Let's see. Miss Rizzo is here. Thank you so much for coming in. I just absolutely love. Kelly sent 5 Missing PNW memberships out. Oh my goodness, thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. If you have gotten a membership by Kelly, please let her know or tell her thank you, please. And let's do a little dance real quick in our seats and celebrate a bunch of new Pacific Northwest whispers. That's just so very nice of you, and I really do appreciate that, Kelly. I see some people getting some new memberships. Ruby Slippers is here. She was ready to dance. Thank you so much. Yep, everything these days helps, right? Groceries are out the friggin' roof. Everything's expensive these days. Lots of people this is amazing. Thank you so much. Suzanne got a membership. What a way to start the show. Gemini is in the house. So many people are here. Ashley just came in. Thank you for being here. And I just want to say, the recording we're going to be listening to is one of Adrienne Lucienne's best friends. Somebody he has grown up with. They met in 2nd grade. Jay has shown so much compassion for Michael and the Vaughan family. when we have spoken, and he really just wants to figure out, first of all, you know, what his friend Adrienne has to do with Michael's abduction. Or did Adrienne have anything to do with Michael's murder? This has weighed on his heart many, many, many times. When he found out that Brandy was sick, he was very upset about that. He didn't want anything bad happening to Brandy and her not having the answers. He's done so much as far as trying to get a hold of Adrienne, talk to him about Michael, try to find out what he knew. And I did go over some, well, actually in one live, I went over all of the messages between Jay and Adrienne. I will not be using his real name. We're just going to call him Jay. And so he reached out to Adrienne, tried to find out as much information, because I even thought, like, out of anybody that could get Adrienne to talk about things, it would be Jay. And one of the things that he got Adrienne to talk about was, you know, things going wrong. And that he said they were trafficking kids, talking about the Wandras and Brandon. Of course, he completely deflected from the fact that he had any involvement while he was talking to his friend. But Jay has a hard time knowing that he's been best friends with somebody that is capable of having anything at all to do with an abduction or a 5-year-old death. Michael Vaughan's abduction and death. And I just want to say right now that there are things redacted, like Jay's name, for instance. I had called him by his name several times. And then there are other specifics that I felt like I couldn't share. So these clips have been edited, but nothing has been edited in a way to make it sound like, you know, it's something other than what it actually is. You guys have been here long enough to know that's not something that I would ever do, ever. To hinder an investigation, to spread rumors, to lie, to do any of those things. So, you know, a lot of people have asked me hundreds of times, you know, what about Adrienne? What about Adrienne? Nobody ever talks about Adrienne, and people want to know more about Adrienne. And Jay, he reached out to me. He found me, and so far has been a great source of information when learning about Adrienne and his life, where he came from, how he thinks. So we're going to play half of the clips that I have, and we'll play the other half at another time. I am thinking, instead of playing the clip and stopping it, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. So give me a 1 in chat if you want to hear a clip and then talk about it after, or if you guys want me to stop when there's something important and give commentary. So a 1 if you want to listen to it and then talk about it. A 2 if you want to add commentary as we go. And I'll just see what you guys want to do. I thought one of the better ways, so far I'm getting more 2s. Man, this is almost like a tie. Each clip is about 10 minutes long. So it looks like there's more twos than one from what I can see. So we're going to add commentary as we play the clips, which is okay with me. I just remember when I did the Brandon Shirtliff and I added some commentary in there. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't like all of the commentary in between. Can you just put up the recording that, and the conversation that you had with Brandon? So I'm glad you guys want to do the commentary during. That's very important to me too, because we can stop it immediately and talk about something that was said. But I am going to try not to stop constantly. Blessed Mama is in the house and she's trying to catch up on 2x speed. We just started, hun. You haven't missed anything. Something I did receive today that I want to show everybody, because we all know that Adrienne Lucienne got arrested October 3rd in Indiana. And there are some details in the court documents that I found interesting. I'm sure you guys will too. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone real quick. This is just, let me see. This front piece of paper is your basic, court document entries and the order of appearance, the warrant, traffic court, initial appearance. It's your normal. This was dated on 10/20. So this is Adrienne actually getting the warrant for his arrest because he didn't show up for court after he promised that he would. And then there's Adrienne's mugshot from being arrested back in October. And then this one is, the state of Indiana, county of St. Joseph, state of Indiana versus Adrienne Temple Lucienne, born in 1990. And this is the one that I want to read. The rest is just like a lot of the court mumbo jumbo stuff, but this gives us information about what actually happened. Shane O'Donnell, upon information and belief, after being duly sworn upon his oath, says that I am a deputy prosecuting attorney with the 60th Judicial Circuit, St. Joseph County, state of Indiana, and make this affidavit after reviewing the South Bend police report written by Officer Anthony Dawson. The facts which form the basis for the belief, and there is probable cause to believe that Adrienne Temple Lucienne has committed the crime. Unauthorized entry of a motor vehicle, a Class B misdemeanor, are as follows. On October 3rd, 2025, Officer Dawson was in full police uniform working off duty as a security for St. Thomas More Academy in St. Joseph County, Indiana. Officer Dawson heard the school director call his name and saw him point in a direction. Officer Dawson looked towards where the school director was pointing and observed a black male climbing out from one of St. Thomas More's Academy school buses. Officer Dawson approached the black male, identified himself as police, and shouted commands. Officer Dawson made contact with the black male and identified him as Adrienne Temple Lucienne. Officer Dawson spoke with Lucienne, and Lucienne said he had entered the school bus the night prior and slept there. Lucienne never indicated that he had permission to enter or contractual interest in the school bus. Lucienne was arrested and transported to jail by Officer Stuck. So Adrienne Lucienne was in a school bus, sleeping in it overnight, homeless again. And you'll learn from hearing Jay talk. This has been a regular thing of Adrien's for a long time. He has always been a wanderer, drifter, whatever you want to call it, across the United States. It wasn't just after Michael's abduction and after Adrienne Lucienne left Idaho. This is something that Adrienne has always done. He's always, done this since he stopped playing basketball, basically. The rest of the document just goes on, not giving too many other specifics. And then at the very end here, you'll see that Adrienne signed information. Let's see. Here is Adrienne Lucienne's promise to come back to court on October 20th, but he never did. I'll go over this document a little bit more. I just got it today, but I just thought I would share it today and let everybody know that the unauthorized vehicle that Adrienne Lucienne got into was a bus at a school. A bus at a school. And after the recording with Jay, I'll have this live with the recording and one more live with the recording. And then I have more information about Adrienne Lucienne and about the people that you're going to hear names of when Jay is talking. These people are crucial people that are involved with Adrienne Lucienne that are all connected to Twin Falls. You guys have heard me talk about Twin Falls. You've heard me talk about the Pope twins being connected to Twin Falls. You're going to hear a woman's name tonight. Her name is Renee. Renee was coaching boys at CSI, which is the College of Southern Idaho, also in Twin Falls. She has, another young man. His name is Alexi. He'll also be mentioned. I can never pronounce his last name. He was basically brought in by Renee, and he now basically calls her mom. You'll hear his name. He's also connected. We'll be able to share after these recordings things that Adrienne and Alexi have spoken about. And we'll get into more about Renee, because these people are people directly involved with Adrienne Lucienne, Twin Falls, Brandon Shirtliff, and people that we believe could be connected to Michael Vaughan's abduction, and the fact that Stacy Wandra said in the probable cause affidavit that they were going to sell Michael for money, that it was Adrienne's idea. It's really suspicious and strange to have these people that are all connected to either some kind of trafficking, human trafficking, and or drug trafficking. You'll also hear another name. His name is Nate Miles. We'll also talk more about him on another live, because I'm going to do a live and show you who all these people are. Nate Miles was another basketball player. Jay knows him well. Jay wrote about him. And another connection, he is from Ohio and then went to what? Twin Falls. Twin Falls is the connection here, you guys. Twin Falls is huge. All of these people, the fact that they all know each other, some being gang members, some not being gang members, and we'll also be going over people that are not mentioned in tonight's live. But I just want to make it aware to everybody that as we move forward, we're going to learn more about the people that are being talked about. So I know you'll be curious, asking like, well, who's Renee and who's Alexi and who's this person and who's that person? If we spend so much time talking about them tonight, then we're not going to really be able to go over the actual recording. So with that being said, thank you guys again for all coming in. Michael Vaughan was abducted on July 27th of 2021. And he was abducted from his neighborhood, really close to home. He wandered off. Neighbors on the street saw him. He was looking for other children to play with. And there are 4 named suspects updated January 1st of 2025. Their names are Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Adrienne Lucienne, and that's who we'll be talking about tonight, and Brandon Shirtliff. And we haven't forgot about you, Brandon. He's supposed to be getting out of jail on the 3rd or the 4th. There does look like there's another hold on him. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Brandon Shirtliff is going to be spending more time in another county after he's released from here in Canyon County. So we'll see. Stacy Wandra has been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Sarah Wandra's probable cause affidavit also charges her with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence, but she has not officially been charged yet. And I don't know if they're going to do that anytime soon or if they're going to wait until February when she may or may not get out, because she has a parole hearing to get out in February if they allow her to get out. So keep that in mind moving forward. There's going to be updates on Brandon coming up here soon. There's going to be updates on Sarah Wandra whenever I get them. And from what I understand, Stacy Wandra, he has been doing a lot of stuff with his attorney. He's trying to get his court hearing that's on December 16th moved to January. He's decided to plead the 5th, and he's also decided to file something with the courts here recently, asking basically, he's not talking to anybody without his lawyer present. So I don't know if law enforcement's been going in and visiting with him, trying to talk to him or whatever, but that communication is now going to be cut. There's no longer going to be communication between Stacy and law enforcement at the moment because of what he filed with the court. And I will update all of that kind of stuff and go over more court paperwork on another live. But if you have any information about Michael Vaughan, his abduction, if you have heard anything, know anything, please come forward. Call the tip line 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Please let law enforcement decide whether or not the tip is credible. It's very important to come forward. If you know something, you could give the family a little bit of peace. You could be Monkey's hero, and Monkey needs a hero. He really, really needs a hero. His family want him to come home so they can lay him to rest So again, if you have any information about Michael Vaughan's abduction or any information that you may have heard, even if it's third party, like please call the tip line 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Adrienne, Lucienne, if you're watching, please take a look at Monkey's face and come forward. Talk to law enforcement. Nobody else in this world besides your best friend could describe you any more than the next couple of lives that you're going to be hearing, Adrienne. And I know you watch my Michael Vaughan Facebook group. You've came in. I know you listen. I know you watch. Do the right thing. Talk to law enforcement. I know that you tell people you're not going to talk about it unless they talk about you. People are in jail right now, Adrienne. People are going to start talking about you. Clear your name, because all 4 suspects, and you are a suspect, Adrienne, are going to be charged. I no longer believe, Adrienne, that you did not have anything to do with and that you're so innocent in all of this. I once believed that you just had knowledge, and now I believe you had so much more to do with this, and you need to come forward and talk to law enforcement. Stop hiding. Stop being a coward. Do the right thing. Do the right thing by your mom. Do the right thing for your best friend. He is torn to pieces, wondering what you have or haven't done to Michael. And I warned you this was coming. You had your opportunity to talk. All right. So we're going back over here to the comments. Yes, Monkey's Army. We are not going away. Bring Monkey home. Adrienne, you're a dad. Do the right thing. It's not too late. Thank you. TikTok. Good to see you, Callie. Good to see you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start the first clip. Let me get rid of some things here. You were fine, Kelly. Just getting started really on the recording. I did send a message out to all of you moderators a few weeks ago. If you remember everything that I said, please just keep an eye on chat, please. And also, a little trigger warning for sensitive information that's going to be talked about and some language here. And again, I just want to thank Jay from the bottom of my heart for doing what was right, no matter the consequences. You didn't have to do everything that you have done, and I really appreciate you, and I know for sure that the Vaughan family appreciates you very much. Also, Adrienne, it's all going to come out in court. Don't you want to have your side of this tragedy told by yourself? Exactly. Thank you, Jay, for being brave for Michael. Yeah, I mean, I did a live and I was talking about the gang members, the Pope twins from Twin Falls. And he called me right afterwards or contacted me. And then we had this phone conversation. We've had many, many, many since. But I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I flat told him, like, I blocked my number when I called you. I just did a live on gang members. And I was like, who the heck is this? Because, you talk about things and stuff, and I have to protect myself. So we got a little bit of a giggle because he was really nervous to talk to me. I was nervous to talk to him. Also, the other parts of the the recording that I have that I cut out, Jay asked some specifics in the case. He's been trying to learn about the case. We talked a little bit about Brandy's health. I went ahead and I took that kind of stuff out. Or when he had questions about Michael being buried in the Wanderer's backyard, or other things like that. So just things he was confused on, or specifics that I would talk to him about and tell him about. But other than that, this is like the majority. I think out of everything, there's only like 20 minutes out of an over 2-hour conversation. So let's just get started. Get your pen and paper out. If you guys see something or hear something, which you will, just let me know. I'm going to keep an eye on chat while we're moving forward. And like Mama B says, give a thumbs up, please. Let's get this out there. Okay, we're going to get started now.
Use information, but I don't want my name to get brought up anywhere just because I know a lot about Adrian. Like, he's one of my closest friends, but maybe about, 2024? Let's say about 7 years ago or so, I kind of like cut him off as a friend.
Okay.
So simply because we were going different paths. We were already.
Let me know if you guys can hear this, please. I know I can hear it. I just want to know that everybody can hear it. There are a couple moments, though, like he walks around his house a little bit where things get really, really, really fuzzy, and you can kind of understand what he's saying. Okay, sounds good, everybody. All right.
Kind of away from each other, but we were just going through separate paths in life, and certain things that he had going on I didn't approve of, and it wasn't a fallout. I just stepped away from him. Okay.
Right.
But up until that point, I guess you can say Adrian probably was my best friend. Maybe one out of 3 closest friends I have are not relatives. So.
Okay.
He calls me. He reaches out to me every now and then. He's very weird. One thing you got correct, but see, the thing is, he always been doing this. He always has a bunch of weird, random profiles on Instagram. Yeah, so that's kind of his thing that he's been doing for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so it's a few things that I watched that live. I watched the replay of the live you did.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things. My thing is, you're on the right track. I just think that some things, and you're doing good work. Goddamn, you pulled up the picture of him in basketball when he played at Marion Advocate. That was like 4th, 5th grade. Like, that was, you're going pretty deep in your research. But some things, it's more simple than, I see where you're going with it, but it's very simple. For instance, you were talking about his connection with Twin Falls. Mm-hmm. Well, Tom, before I go there, so I found new information in your new video. Who are these brothers that Adrian supposedly know? Like, what's your information, or what do you think how he met these guys? Because
the Pope twins?
The Pope twins, yes.
Oh, they're from Twin Falls. They're gang members out of Twin Falls. Adrian accused them of being involved in Michael's abduction. And
so when did Adrian say that?
I cannot talk and give too much detail about the information that I get, because I get this all from a particular source. But I know that it is true, and that recording that I posted on the Michael Vaughan group is one of the Pope brothers and he is directly talking to Adrienne in that message.
Was that?
So this message that we are talking about here, I have played it several times on this channel. Adrienne Lucienne accuses the Pope twins from Twin Falls, Idaho of Michael's abduction and murder. And in a recording that I have played, we will be playing it again in later lives. One of the Pope brothers straight up tells Adrienne, I didn't abduct that kid. I didn't kill that kid. And if you keep talking about it, I'm coming after you. And he's just trying to figure out who the heck these Pope twins are. So that's who the Pope twins are.
Like a voicemail that he said? Because
it was a recording and a text message that he sent.
Got you. Okay, got you. Okay, got you. So Adrienne told authorities this? My thing is, who would Adrienne talk to give that kind of information to?
Well, Adrienne actually, it throws a lot of names around. One of them, I believe you actually know.
Okay, so this is, okay, I'm glad you just said that. Okay, now I'm glad you just said that. Okay. This is one thing we have to understand. Something's happening.
Right there, I had to redact a name. So that's why you guys, I just told him, like, one of the people I think you know, and then I told him the person's name. That name was redacted.
Happened to Adrienne mentally in the last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Adrienne's not normal, okay? I think it's schizophrenia. That's what I truly believe. I talked to Adrienne, I think it was around Valentine's Day 2022. Prior to that, I haven't probably had a phone conversation with him since like 2019, okay?
Okay.
But granted, this guy, I don't know if you have Instagram, but just like Facebook, you know how my message to you was hidden, like some hidden folder that you had to go see. Like, it's not, if I message you, when I first message you, it didn't just come up in your inbox, correct?
Right.
It was like in some, like the spam folder. So Instagram has the same thing. And Adrienne, every once in a while, he would message me, and he would just say, like, yo, and how weird the page looks, because it's always some Japanese art or some kind of weird, some vintage photo. I know it's him.
Right.
So I'll be like, yo, this is Adrienne. He just laugh. Like, yeah, I just know it's him, just because he's done this so many times. So in the last 2 years, I think it was.
This is where I realized that some of, what he is telling me is true. Like, I know that it's true because Adrienne does use the Asian writing. He uses a Y. He does use, the vintage photos. He even uses some old satanic stuff, like vintage photos are a thing. So now I'm like, oh, okay, he really does know who he is. Oh, that is Brandy. Hey, girl. I was having to look and I'm like, did you change your name? You did. You changed your name. Good to see you, hon. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
It's like around February 13th, I think it was Valentine's Day, 2022. I was living in LA. He called me, or I think I talked to his dad or something like that. His dad said he wasn't doing too good. And then maybe like a week later, he reached out to me. Me and Adrienne talked on the phone on FaceTime. And we talking about a whole plethora of things. One thing I noticed, this guy was going in and out of the conversations he was just saying the most random shit ever. I mean, he told me that, he just said, these people are trying to kill me. These people are trying to kill me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Then he was like, you're trying to kill me. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He was like, yeah, you and my sister trying to kill me.
Now, Adrian Lucienne, when he messages with people, he's always talking about people trying to kill him. And I know that the Pope twins, according to Adrian, tried to kill Adrian in Portland, Oregon. So why are there other people out there trying to kill Adrian? Why does Adrian Lucienne throw the Pope twins under the bus? There are 3 other people, Brandon, Stacy, and Sarah, that Adrian could be throwing under the bus, and he's not. He is throwing out other people's names. He talks about Alexi. Again, another person will be going over in the future, trying to kill him. Why are these people trying to hurt him? Why does he keep talking about this? It's like he's out on the run, hiding from people that want to hurt him. And he's even telling his friend this in this FaceTime. And then starts saying, you know, Jay, you're trying to hurt me. My sister's trying to hurt me and everything else. And from what I have learned from Adrian, at any point you start talking to him about Michael Vaughan's abduction, the case or anything, Adrian starts acting like a crazy person, like a paranoid schizophrenic or something. He gets all mental. I don't know if he's just playing or if he's got some post-traumatic stress from things that have happened to him in his childhood. More stuff we'll go over, but there's definitely something going on.
I'm like, bro, now I was getting worried. Like, is he out? Because Adrian's a jokester, so I'm like, is this dude joking? Like, what is he talking about? Then he said to me, Life Jennings and my sister are trying to set me up. So Life Jennings is a famous singer that's a relative to him on his uncle married Life Jennings' mother years ago. Life Jennings is a famous R&B singer, okay? This guy, he hasn't seen Adrian probably since Adrian was a little kid. He's like, yeah, Life Jennings and my sister, Runa, who's like a ex-model, who's like a real estate agent in Texas, I think now, who hasn't had contact with Adrian probably in 15 years, directly cold cut him off. So Adrian, well, I think that maybe let's say 10 years. Let's say about 10 years. Just cut him off completely, wanted nothing to do with him. And he said, yeah, you guys are setting me up. And I'm like, dude, you're tripping. I kept telling him, hey, if you keep saying stuff like that, I'm just hanging up this phone call. He's like, I'm just playing. And then he started saying some other stuff about some other people, like they're trying to kill me. And he started saying stuff like, yeah, you guys don't like me anymore because I'm gay. And all, be like, well, I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm like, whoa, what the? It was a lot. It was like a 2-hour.
Yeah, Adrian Lucienne talking about being gay. You guys don't like me because I'm gay. And Jay is completely thrown off. He just does not understand why Adrian would be saying that to him, because he's always known Adrian to be like a ladies' man.
FaceTime. But in that 2 hours, he told me numerous people were trying to kill him. He said that some guy in LA is Adrian. They're saying that Adrian tried to sleep with his nephew, and they were trying to kill him. But this whole time he's saying.
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but there are people, Adrian saying that there are people in LA that want to hurt him because he slept with their nephew. Like, we're talking like a young boy. That's what he's saying, Kelly, that Adrian is saying he is. Let me rewind this part right here.
Numerous people were trying to kill him. He said that some guy in LA is Adrian. They're saying that Adrian tried to sleep with his nephew, and they were trying to kill him. But this whole time he's saying this at the point to where he's like, Like, it's not true. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know why they're doing this, man.
At the time that you're, I'm sorry to cut you off, but at the time that you're talking to him, do you know at that point that he's somebody law enforcement was looking into?
No.
I'm just curious.
No,
Okay.
that's a good question. So at that time, no. So maybe about 30 more minutes into the conversation, he said, man, Google my name real quick, man. So I'm like, all right. I get on my laptop. I Google Adrienne Lucienne. I'm like, holy shit. I see the first thing I seen was whatever news was in that city, and it was like the big blow-up faces of him and the other 3 people.
Yeah, from Fruitland, Idaho.
Callie, he doesn't say when at all. He never said when he was accused of that. But the conversation that they're having, he says, is in 2022 or 2023.
Please.
Yeah, from Fruitland, yes. So that was the first thing I see. I click on that, read that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I see the kid. I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? So this is what he told me. And he said, so like, man, I moved to, I was in Ohio. I think he got into trouble in Ohio.
You're cutting out really bad. I can't understand what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yep, I can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So at this point, he's like, I'm gonna tell you this. He's like, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I'm like, yo, I'm like, what the hell happened? So he says, I was in Ohio at some point, because he was in California for a while, and then he went to Ohio, and then I knew about the meth case. His dad told me about that.
Right.
And he got caught with some meth in Bowling Green, which is a suburb outside of Toledo, and
so I thought that was really interesting too, that he talks about the we're going to call it math bust was right outside of Ohio. Again, this is more information all connected to certain people, because there's another gang member out of Columbus, Ohio, that Adrienne Lucienne is connected to. And then he gets busted right outside of Ohio with 50 grams or 50 whatever of meth. And they actually say in the report that Adrienne was trafficking those rugs. So that is the first recording. And of course, you've got right away him talking about how Adrienne seems a little bit off, but he's talking about people are out to get him. And that, of course, the one thing that I caught out of this immediately is that somebody down in Los Angeles is pretty pissed off at Adrienne for having S with their nephew, who seems to be quite young, and Adrienne is telling his best friend, somebody he's known since 2nd grade, that he's gay. He says, you guys are trying to, come after me because I'm gay. Innocent people help when it's about a child, even if they are involved in unrelated criminal activity. Adrienne better step up, for he will be looking guilty, and it isn't. I totally agree. Going away. This person is Adrienne Lucienne's best friend, and I won't say his full name. We're just calling him Jay for now. And everything is verified. I know for a fact that Jay's been his friend. I mean, everything's verified. I'm just looking through chat real quick. So, I mean, he's already putting out a lot of information. He doesn't really say. Adrienne started changing a lot from what I'm understanding when I look back, and from, taking things that I know, taking things from what Jay has told me. Adrienne started changing at a very younger age. Jay talks about it, but he really started to change at CSI College. That's in Twin Falls. That's the College of Southern Idaho, when he meets up with some bad people there. Okay, so let's hop into the second recording here.
From there, he said that he went to Idaho because his son and his baby mom was out there. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, cool. He went to Idaho. He told me that he met that family. I believe it was a Craigslist ad they had a room for rent because he couldn't afford an apartment. He doesn't have credit to even get a real apartment anywhere,
right?
Especially in Boise.
So Adrian told Jay that he met the Wandras on Craigslist. Craigslist is a horrible place. I don't know if they have an app or not. I don't know. If anybody else knows, let me know. I could have just looked it up very simply, but I haven't ever, and I don't know why. But Brandon told his childhood friend, Dan Guthrie, that Adrian and Sarah met on an app before he came to Idaho. And I'm wondering now if it is a Craigslist app.
These days. So he was like, yeah, I just went on Craigslist and I found this couple and I stayed at their house. He said, rent their room out. Then he said, the next thing I know, after I'm living there, there's some little boy is missing and they're saying this on this property and something with the family, and that was that. He didn't go into any details that he knew. He was saying that was that, and he went back to Ohio. So I was like, okay, damn. The way he was saying it was so nonchalant. Like, I know Adrian. I know this dude. I could do something lying to you, man. The way he was saying it was like he was like, bro, I don't know what the hell's going on. The only thing, I did extensive research myself. I spent hours, me and my girlfriend, looking over every video I possibly could find, anything I could read on this situation.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that he made where the lie came in, I believe, is where he made it seem to me as if, okay, this kid, something happened.
So, Carrie, thank you so much. It does have an app. Okay, well, see, this all makes sense to me because Brandon has said Sarah and Adrian met on an app, and Adrian is telling his best friend that he met them through Craigslist. So I'm kind of assuming, I don't know for sure 100%, don't quote me on this, but I really feel like this could have been the app that they met each other through. And it's just a super, super shady place to be. Craigslist is horrible.
Happened with this kid before he moved into the house, and then once he moved into the house, that's when everything hit the fan. And it was like, yeah, this stuff happened before I even got here. That's the impression I had. The more information I looked into, I'm like, well, they're saying that it happened the day that he went to Applebee's and seen his son and his baby mom. That was like the day that the kidnapping or the kid went abducted, correct?
Right.
So he didn't make it seem like that. He made it seem like it was like the kid already was before he even got to Boise, and then something happened. The law enforcement got involved while he was there. So that's the way he made it seem to me.
So Adrian made it sound like Michael was abducted and all this stuff happened before he got to Idaho. And Jay says Boise because he thinks that, I don't know if Boise and Fruitland are like suburbs of one another or whatever, but he does say Boise a lot versus Fruitland.
And he had been there for a little bit.
Yeah, so I've seen that myself. That's when I got, so 2022, when he told me this, I did my research, and the way he said it to me, honestly, he was like, man, I got a lawyer. he said, he pretty much like, man, don't even worry about it. Like, he didn't seem concerned. So I'm like, all right, I didn't think about it. Let's fast forward to June. I was just curious. I'm like, man, I was thinking about Adrian. Again, this is one of my childhood friends. Last time I heard, his dad told me that he was riding a bus looking for cigarettes and loose cigarettes on the ground and cigarette butts and stuff. So naturally, he's on my mind. I think about Mary now and then, like, damn, I hope he's not dead in a gutter somewhere. So I did some more. I looked up his name. I wanted to see what the update with the case was. Because I remember when I think back then when I looked it up, I think the two homeowners ended up getting arrested for different charges, I believe.
Yes.
So I was like, let me see what the update was. About 2 years since then. Let me see what happened. Then I see all these true crime TikToks and YouTubes and stuff, and people like going in depth in the story. So now I'm really interested. So I click on that stuff. I'm watching me and my girlfriend and watching all the videos. We're trying to piece everything together. I'm like, wait, and then I started little clues, little things didn't make sense. For one, I read somewhere, somebody said that he ended up going to a lake, or that everyone in the house ended up driving to a lake maybe like a day after the kid was abducted or something like that?
Yeah.
Was that true?
Yes.
It wasn't a day after Michael was abducted. It was at the end of July. But all four suspects, all four of them, went to Laurel Lake. I have done a short on it here on the YouTube channel, and it's just very strange. This is a giant lake, and we know they were traveling around the lake, and they weren't all together. They were all in other areas looking around the lake. It's about as much information about it as I can give, but we know all four suspects, just days after Michael's abduction, were traveling around the lake, and they say they were fishing. In my personal opinion, I believe they were looking for some spot where they could put Michael. I don't know that for sure, but why are you just traveling around the lake? You're not really stopping. You're not really doing anything. You're just traveling around the lake.
Oh, shit. So, see, that right there raised my antennas. And there was a few other things that I was just like, hold on, this don't... Because he made it seem like it was just... I'm like, what's all this? And I think one of the guys said that, I don't think they did it, but if anybody could have did it, it could have been Adrian and all this. Now, so at that point, I'm like very invested. And I think that's when I messaged you. I'm like, yo, let me find anyone who's like working on this or doing any kind of
Yes, Nicole. When I looked it up on a GPS map, or on Google Map, I had zoomed in, and yes, Lake Lowell has so many spots you can drop into and not be seen. And there's so many spots all the way around it. And this is, you guys, this is a giant lake. It ain't a small lake. It's huge.
Investigative work on this. So that's my reach out to you. I reached out to this another guy on Twitter. He has a YouTube page. He does a lot of true crime stuff, but he never respects me. So at this point, I'm just in a limbo. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just kind of following up. And then I seen that group that you have on there. That's when I started following that group. And then I noticed early on you guys never made a connection between Southern Idaho and him being in Idaho. So, because I remember that you guys were like trying to figure out like what's the connection? Why is he out here? Now, to my understanding, he didn't know the guy, Brandon. He didn't know anybody. He just kind of moved into the house. And one thing I know about Adrian, he can make friends with anybody. For instance, and now he lived in L.A. He was hanging out some dispensary, just hanging outside of it, a marijuana dispensary. He ended up meeting this young woman. She was like a young lesbian lady, and next thing I know, he's living with her. Like they're roommates. Just
right.
like that. He is like a very I don't know. He's very personable, and he's just real cool with people real fast. He's always trying to do music and creative shit, clothing line, stuff like that. That's really where his mind's usually at. So when I'm thinking about this stuff, I'm like, well, what's the motive to him doing anything like this? Now,
Trish, this is Adrienne Lucien's best friend. He grew up with him. They've known each other since second grade.
All the information I took, it seems to me that the dude Stacy might have hit the kid or something like that when he was driving home. Because didn't he have a taxi service or like a illegal taxi?
Yeah, they had a taxi service, but it didn't, nothing like that. It went down. They actually had pulled out of the neighborhood. Stacy, Sarah, and Brandon, and they said they stopped to put some power steering fluid in. We're not even sure if this story is even true anymore, actually. But at that time, there was a kid around. Michael Vaughan had actually wandered away from the house, and that's when Michael got abducted. The force.
So like he's saying, maybe they hit the kid or something, and I'm telling him that they came out of the neighborhood and that, said that they put power steering fluid in, and then I go on to say we don't even know if this is what actually happened. And now the probable cause affidavit is out, and I just recently did a short, and you have Stacy talking about only being on Arizona and 8th Street, he says 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. And then you have Brandon Shirtliff saying we briefly stopped, only for a moment and stuff. And it's because when they both think about stopping on 8th in Arizona, they think, okay, Brandon, hurry up, get out, go check on Michael, because that's what the probable cause affidavit says, right? Stacy says that Brandon got out of the vehicle and went to check on Michael in the bed of the pickup. And that only takes seconds. It doesn't take it does not take a long time to do. So, by the way, I did this recording with Jay back in October, November of 2024. So I've actually had this for over a year. And I was waiting for the right time to release it, and I also got permission to release it a few months back. At the time, I didn't feel like in my gut it was the right time. I was just trying to follow my instincts. But now that everything's came out in the affidavit talking about Michael being sold and stuff, I feel like I can. Well, I've been given permission to release it, but also I just feel better about doing so.
Suspects in the case, of course, you already know Brandon, Sarah, and Adrienne. He's connected because he's in the house, and then there's other things that really connect him. Like, I was just interested in, you had said something about, he went from Applebee's to his kid's mama's house. Now,
no, not the mom's house. What he told me was he went to Applebee's. That's where, so I don't think his baby mom wanted anything to do with him on that level, to where he would come hang out at her house, because that's why he didn't get a room. So
even Adrienne's best friend says that his baby mama would not want Adrienne at her house. And it's very true, because in the beginning, we all thought that Adrienne wasn't at the Wanderer's house the night that Michael was abducted. We had all been told that Adrienne Lucien stayed the night with baby's mama, but here is his best friend even saying, no way, she wouldn't have let Adrienne come and stay at her house. And we know now, because of a picture, a selfie that Adrienne takes of himself in the Wanderer's bathroom, that he was at the house the night that Michael was abducted.
Well, I think Applebee's was just the neutral destination that she probably set up, like, meet us here, we'll get some food, and you can see your son. So, because I know for a fact that his whole point of being there was to be around this kid. Even though he has plenty of other kids roaming around America right now as well. That's one of maybe 6, okay? So
one of maybe 6 kids. And let me just break something else down for you guys. Adrian tells everybody, I went to Idaho because I was trying to build a relationship with my child. He saw his child at Applebee's the day that Michael was abducted on July 27th of 2021, and that is the one and only time Adrian ever saw his son. There was no building a relationship. He met his son, and then there was nothing. That's it. Yes, Adrian said he was. Maybe he's bi. I don't know. That's just what Adrian said.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a lot of kids. He has a kid in, I'm pretty sure, in Dana Point. He has a kid in Texas. Those are the ones I know, me being his close friend, that I've actually met. And I know the girl at CSI because when he went to Southern Idaho, he ended up knocking her up when he was there. And before he went to CSI, that was his second year at JUCO. He went to a school called Highland in Illinois. That's where he went right out of high school.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and another thing you said the Hargrave, and he went to Fort Union Military in Virginia. He has no connection to these states. These are all basketball powerhouses. And Adrian was a basketball prospect. He was a high level prospect.
Oh yeah, I watched that video. He's an amazing basketball player.
Yeah, he was very good. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. And I always talk about this. One thing you did say that was dead on the money. Adrian definitely dealt with some. When basketball didn't pan out, because you gotta understand, like, the sad thing about Adrian comes from a phenomenal home. He comes from a very good upbringing. His mom made sure he had the best of education that is possible, money can buy. But when I met Adrian in second grade, Adrian was the shyest, most laid-back kid. All he cared about was basketball. I mean, this dude used to collect coins from, like, Europe and Africa as a kid. I mean, his mom and dad, his dad ended up getting strung out on drugs. But prior to that, his dad was a scientist at this company called Dana in Toledo. His mother, I think she had a law degree, but she did something else outside of law.
I know it sounds like Adrian's not gay. There are lots of stuff about Adrian, and I think he's just struggling right now with all of this, his sexuality and stuff, because we know now that Adrian was being abused in Catholic school when he was younger. We'll go over some of that on another live. We know that he was also assaulted as a teenager by a basketball coach and another woman basketball coach. And with that being said, I just think Adrian's struggling with it all.
He grew up, I mean, amazing. You can't ask for a better upbringing. I mean, the guy, he was the first person I went to, this is in the late 90s, say 99, 2000. He was the first kid I went to where their family was eating, like, organic food and emphasizing on, like, sprout bread and shit like that. Like, just very healthy, very conscious of the stuff his mom used to do, And, well, Adrian, all the way up until 7th grade, Adrian used to be kind of he used to talk back. So the schools he went to were very, like, religious, and just him having a mouth was, like, a big issue for them. So his 7th grade year, he ended up going to the school called Robinson. So Adrian grew up in this area called Old West End, okay? Old West End is a very historic neighborhood in Toledo. It traces back to, like, the early 1800s. But
so there you're learning, like, his mom and his dad had great jobs. They were eating organic. I mean, I think even later on during this conversation, he talks about his mom being a Buddhist meditating, teaching them how to meditate. You know, Adrienne Lucien's family was very, very upper class. He was raised right. But things started to change for Adrienne. One of them being the fact that he was as abused back when he was younger in Catholic school. And his dad even says it. So, I mean, and we're going to go over, like I said, that information on another live. And yes, he went to private school. He went to Catholic school. Everywhere he went, he was taken care of. And these private schools, he wasn't put in these private schools and stuff because of his attitude or like the academy that he went to. It was all for basketball. He was learning how to play basketball. He was an amazing basketball player. Good to see you, Yaya. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you, Connie. Thank you for coming in. Just going to look through chat real quick. Very prestigious schools. Very. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, I had to check my message real quick. But we're learning a lot here. A lot. I wonder if they found the toe straps. Tracy said he walked through the garage to grab the toe strap, which is also where the duct tape was. Then he put the strap in the bed of the truck where Monkey was. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if Adrienne told the monsters, Stacy, Sarah, and Brandon, that he could sell children, but he was talking in a delusion and they took him seriously. I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think that we are finding out by just Adrienne's connections alone that he knows people that are into trafficking, human trafficking. Okay, let's jump right into this third clip. If you guys have any questions, I'm trying to keep an eye on chat. Please let me know if you guys hear something and want to pause to talk about it.
That the homeschool or the junior high to that school, it's kind of an urban school. So a lot of the kids that live in the West End, in that particular strip of area, they go to private schools. So, So when he got kicked out of the private school, his mom's like, all right, I'm not about to keep paying for you to go to these schools. You just go to the home school. And that's when I started seeing a change in Adrienne. When I say a change is, he started, up into that, Adrienne, very handsome guy. When we was in 6th grade, he would never talk to girls. I mean, shy, would damn near run away. When he got to Robinson, he's messing with girls. He's trying to sell a little weed, think he's selling some weed.
So to answer a question that somebody asked me earlier, I think it was Melissa, said, when did Adrienne start to change? Well, this is where Jay says Adrienne really started to change. He goes from this like really shy kid, not too comfortable with the girls or anything in 6th grade, but come 7th grade, he's messing around with girls. He's starting to sell Mary Jane, and, he's starting to do some unusual, he's acting out of the norm. He even says that in some of the schools he was arguing and stuff. So this sounds right about the time that Adrian really starts changing, I guess, his attitude. And if you guys are just now joining, we're listening to a recording. It's a conversation that I had with Adrienne Lucienne's best friend. They've known each other since second grade. He reached out to me when he saw some information being posted on Facebook about his best friend.
He was kind of, how can I put it? He was kind of assimilating into the culture at that point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even I, as his friend, started noticing, like, why are you doing this? And you have certain random friends. I'm like, why are you hanging with this dude? Like, if I just, just kept it all to myself, it was whatever. And then high school comes around. He's going to, he went to Central Catholic his freshman year. It was a private school in Toledo. He went there his freshman year. Then from there, he went to Fort Union Military the next year. And none of these schools were for behavioral issues at all. It was strictly basketball.
Right. That's one thing we didn't know. Like, did he get sent to the military school, because mom's had enough, or was this for basketball,
No, I understand. That was a good observation. That's why I wanted to clear that up. Because I'm like, nah, he went strictly for basketball and stay on the straight and narrow. Because in Toledo, you could, Adrian just, again, he didn't have that father figure in his life. Because by this point, his dad's like a full-blown crackhead at this point. So, Adrian resented that a lot about his dad. Because, for instance, as a child, I didn't really know. We were like 12 years old one day.
So now you're hearing that Adrienne Lucienne's dad was a crackhead. We're talking about Frank Lucienne being a crackhead. And he's about to tell a story about one of the first times that he met Frank.
Adrian had a basketball in his backyard, right? So, me and him just shooting hoops. His dad walks up out of nowhere. This is probably my first time seeing his dad. I'm like, I know a crackhead when I see one, so I'm like, oh shit, this is his dad? He never really talked about it, Actually, he used to big up his dad, kind of. He used to talk about the stuff he did in the past. So when his dad pulls up and he's like looking homeless and raggedy, and I seen Adrian mood change. We went from happy laughing to, he was just like, oh, hey, what's up, Dad? And then, he's like, hey, what's up, son? That's nice. He's, happy to see you.
And I just want to clarify something. I know you guys heard him earlier talking about Adrian coming from a great home. Adrian's dad wasn't always like this. Adrian's dad wasn't always a crackhead. Something changed in Adrian's dad later on, and then he becomes a crackhead as Adrian gets older. His mom, being a Buddhist, being the person that she was, would have never got with somebody like Frank, knowing they were doing drugs or, wanted to turn into a loser. She ends up divorcing him later on down the road. More information about that comes out here in the conversation, but just wanted to let you guys know, like, he wasn't always, a bad guy.
Son, Adrian, like, hey, let's play. Can you play one-on-one? He had a straight face while he's saying his dad, like, sure, let's play. And they play one-on-one basketball, but Adrian's like elbowing him hard. Adrian's trying to, like, he's like going to the rim, and instead of just laying it up, he's throwing his shoulder into his dad. And at that point, I realized he has some resentment towards this guy. He's like trying to, excuse my language, so he's trying to F him up a little bit.
Right.
And I noticed that. I sat back and I was like, damn, why is he doing this? Like, why is he playing like that to us? It was just obvious. Like, you're trying to hurt him while you're playing. His dad kind of, I'm pretty sure he realized that, but then he just kind of like, oh, hey, son, relax. Hey, chill out, son. And then Adrian kind of threw the ball and walked off. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, why is he treating his dad like this? And then I realized his mom talked to me. She's like, yeah, Dad, he had issues with his father, yada, yada, yada. I think his dad used to physically harm his mother at one point in time. So Adrian.
So there you have Jay talking about at one point in time, Adrian's dad used to, beat up his mom. There was domestic violence going on in the house. And like Yaya is saying, there's like lots of resentment here. There is so much resentment. Obviously, Adrien's playing basketball with his dad, and he's hitting him with his elbow, getting him in the gut, playing that rough street basketball that we've all seen and heard about. And yeah, he's doing that with his dad. Sounds to me using it as an excuse to physically harm his dad.
We used to always talk about, he's never going to be like his dad. He's going to be way better. So fast forward to, let's say, 2017, when me and him fell out, I told him, like, dude, you're becoming your dad. You're a deadbeat. You're doing all these illicit drugs. And he got after hoops, and he went through, like, this thing where he just wanted to do music and fashion and stuff, which is fine, but he was kind of freelancing without a plan, just kind of wandering, And Adrien, one thing Adrien had, he's 6'5", good-looking dude, so he always had women. He always could get, he could just, he'll be on the internet and he'll have a girl pull up, and a good-looking one. You'd be like, wow. He'd be like, yeah, this is such and such. Millions and millions of girls. So he can always move across the country. He could be somewhere. That's how he got to L.A. This one girl, she was like a pop singer. She was a writer. He was with her for a while, and then he just started spiraling. And then his mom passed. That was a big blow to him.
What year did his mom pass away? Do you know?
Yeah, give me a second. So, I want to say either 2016 or early 2017. I want to say 2016. Okay. Yeah, so because I remember I drove down. He was in Dana Point with this girl, and when she died, I remember me and him weren't even talking. But when she died, I called her, I called him, and I drove down there, and I hung out with him for the day. Because I just understood he doesn't have a big family. His sister cut him off. His dad was, dealing with his issues. So that was a big issue for him right there. But me and his mom were very close. I talked to his mother. His mom was like a very big, she kept me on track a lot growing up. She was very knowledgeable, very educated woman, no nonsense. So even when she was dealing with cancer, since we were probably in high school, it would come on, come off. She maybe like 2-3 different times it came back. That's how she finally died. Well, truth be told, I think she died because she had all this unnecessary stress because of Adrien. And she's worried about him, and he wanted to go stay.
So he thinks that the added stress that Adrien put on his mother when he went to go stay with his mom up in Washington, D.C., after Frank and her had split up, she gets cancer again after battling it for years. Adrien comes up, starts staying with his mom, and he believes that that extra added stress that was put on Adrien's mother at the time ultimately is what kills her, because she's just so upset and distraught about how much Adrien has changed. You're hearing about what a great mother she was, what a great person, how knowledgeable she was, and everything from Jay. So Adrien had a choice to make. He was raised right. And then that right turns into having to deal with domestic violence in his house, his dad being on drugs, and then his parents getting divorced. But his mom still wanting to do right by him. He's going to all these private schools. He's going to Catholic school. He's going to the academy. He's doing basketball. Amazing basketball. And then, he goes up and stays with his mom, and then she passes. And that hit Adrien very, very hard.
We're down in D.C. at one point, let's say 2014, he went down there for like maybe like a few months. And I remember she called me crying. Like, she was saying that he was coming in. She lived in like it was in a place where they would actually look out for her, that they had like nurses and stuff. But it was an apartment place, but they had things on call for people just in case someone gets sick or hurt. It was but it's not like an old home. But I don't know how to explain it. But it was like a place where it was some kind of assisted living going on.
Right.
So he was staying there with her a little bit, and she would call me. He'd be like, he's just coming in the hours of the night, and who knows what he's doing. And she was stressed out. Like a year later, she passed. So Adrienne, where am I at now? So when she passed, I understood where Adrienne was at. But I had a very deep conversation with him. Like, dude, you're one of the reasons why your mom was in the state she was. Like, you having all these kids, you're not taking any of them. I told him, I can't be friends with you. I'm like, I don't know, how do I look as a friend? We go hang out, we go to a bar, we're hanging out, we're having fun. But me knowing that you got kids somewhere that you haven't even checked up on in months or don't even know you exist, So I'm like, morally and character-wise, I love you to death, man. You're my boy, but I'm not cool with you no more. Because he started getting mad at me because he'd never been to my home in L.A., not once. And it was a reason for that because I didn't really trust the guy no more. He was just always doing random stuff with random people. I'm just like, I got a girlfriend, I got a dog, man. I'm like, this is my boy, but I don't even trust him enough to even come to my home. We
have found theft charges on him in D.C. that he's got a warrant for and stuff too. Not being able to trust him, and then all the drug involvement that he has and stuff too.
And it wasn't just weed. We're talking about meth, and he told me that when I talked to him that day, he told me about the Michael Vaughan stuff. He told me that he tried crack. So he was going off the deep end at this point. And then,
the way that Jay describes it, it's not like a nursing home, but, and I don't even know if I want to call it assisted living. It's like she lived in a great big, huge apartment complex. I don't know if it was just elderly people or not, but there were staff members on hand available if needed in case of emergency. So I guess that would be like assisted living, but yes, he was living with his mom there and would just like come and go. Yes, Jen. Maybe. Palliative care. Yeah. Government assisted home. Was it in Washington State, Washington, D.C.? It even could have even been hospice because she was sick with cancer and dying. I don't know. I don't even know if he was even allowed to be at her house. Maybe she was sneaking him in and out because we already know Adrienne, is known for drifting and wandering around and being homeless. Maybe she was just trying to keep her boy off of the street, letting him come and go when, he wanted to. No, he is not an only child. His sister is a beautiful, beautiful model. She no longer talks to him anymore. Adrienne has a brother that's a teacher in New York City. Sorry, I'm just like reading chat. Okay, I'll push play again.
Looking up, searching, I see the other cases. He didn't even mention that to me. I had to bring that up. He's like, oh yeah, in BG this happened, and he started spiraling. Definitely. And I don't know if it was, more so his mother's death, or if it was, I don't know what happened. But I do know, I think he's dealing with now some kind of schizophrenia or bipolar. It's definitely something going on there, because he was saying the same weirdo stuff to me about people trying to kill him, and he was homosexual now. All this stuff out of nowhere. And when I was talking to him, it's just so incoherent.
There you have him talking again about how Adrienne was telling him he was homosexual now. And I know Jay well enough to know that he's not going to lie about Adrian and his past. He's not going to. I don't think he would ever say that about his best friend unless Adrian actually said so. That's just, I do not believe Jay would ever say those things unless it was true. Oh no, I lost my spot. Hold on, you guys. Let's see where we're at here.
Going on.
Right.
So he was staying there with her a little bit, always doing random stuff with random people. I'm just like, I love you to death, man. You're my boy, but I'm not cool with you no more. Because he started getting mad at me because he
DC that he's got a warrant for and stuff too. I mean, so yeah, not being able to trust him, and then all the drug involvement that he has and stuff too.
And it wasn't just weed. We're talking about meth. And he told me that when I talked to him that day, he told me about the Michael Vaughan stuff. He told me that he tried crack. So he was going off the deep end at this point. And then, then I'm looking up, searching. I see the other cases. He didn't even mention that to me. I had to bring that up. He's like, oh yeah, in BG this happened, and he started spiraling. I mean, he started spiraling definitely. And I don't know if it was, more so his mother's death, or if it was, I don't know what happened, but I do know, I think he's dealing with now some kind of schizophrenia or bipolar. It's definitely something going on there, because he was saying the same weirdo stuff to me about people trying to kill him, and he was homosexual now, and all this stuff out of nowhere. And when I was talking to him, it's just so incoherent. Like, it didn't even seem real. Like the way he was, I know this guy my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, on his TikTok, he actually mentions, the Pope twins and throws them underneath the bus and says that they have, he was trying to accuse them of being involved in Michael Vaughan's disappearance. And then there's this other guy, Alexi something, starts with a P. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me.
Yeah, I've seen that name. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he throws that up there on TikTok too, and he was talking about, this guy tried to kill me by carbon monoxide, and Adrian actually went to the hospital for this carbon monoxide just shortly after the Michael Vaughan disappeared. So a lot of people were just speculating of the fact that, Stacy and Sarah or Brandon must have tried poisoning him with this carbon monoxide, but Adrian's actually talking about this Alexi guy, and he's connected to the Pope twins, and they're all connected to this Nate Miles, and then he's connected, and they're all connected to Renee Morsing.
Ooh, damn, you're doing some good ass research. Okay, so, damn, okay.
I'm not sure where Alexi is from. We're still digging. And when I say we, I mean like my admin from my Facebook group and other people that I work with. Because Alexi is a really, really, really bad guy. This guy has pictures of him holding up GUNs. He has pictures on his Facebook of little boys, little black boys holding machine guns and stuff. So, yeah, it's bad. We'll be going over a lot of information when it comes to who Alexi is, Renee, Nate Miles, another guy from Columbus, Ohio, their connections to Adrian and Twin Falls, and where Brandon ties into all of this, because Brandon at one time actually is supposed to be going to a motocross event, goes completely out of his way, travels in a different direction towards Twin Falls, and before going, excuse me, I got a tickle or something. Before going to the motocross. I mean, so there are connections that Adrian and Brandon both have at Twin Falls. And it makes you wonder, who was working with Adrian? Was it Sarah? Was it Stacy? Was it Brandon? I mean, all of them. All of them, because they all wanted to make money, but there's got to be two people that are kind of like, or one or two people that are kind of like the masterminds of it all, right? I don't know. I do not know, Shannon. Hold on a second. Spell the last name. Hold on a second. Let me look on my phone. I know a lot of people that do their research, that look into this case, that have followed me for a long time or researched on their own. There are a lot of people that know or have seen Alexi's name before. Let me just... I have it on my phone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, you guys. I have so much stuff on my phone right now for future lives, for future videos. Yeah, I don't see it right now. It does start with a P, and I do believe it's like a Ukraine or Russian last name. Wait a second, is this it? Let me see. That's not it. But we will be talking about this guy later on down the road. So if you have any questions that you want answered about him, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. He liked to post a lot of pictures with him and Pew Pews. Yes, yes, Callie. Yes, they will. They'll do anything for their drugs. They have to have money. They will trade. They will do what they have to do. No morals. And when they're in deep with drugs, it's all about getting cash for the next hit. Yep. I was wondering the same because the Boise area has a lot of Ukraine people. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. But we'll be going over who Alexi is and everything else. Jay was really interested when he heard Renee's name, and you're about to hear some information about her.
Connected, and they're all connected to Renee Morsing.
Ooh, damn, you doing some good ass research. Okay, so, damn, okay. Renee, you know what, I thought about this earlier, and I didn't think, well, for one, let's go back, let's go back a step here. Okay, the Pope twins are, I've looked it up, they're like 28, correct?
No, they're in their early 20s, actually, I think. Well, you know what? I don't know for sure.
I think one of the articles I've seen where it was, one of them was arrested, correct?
Yes.
So I've seen that it was 2024. It said he was 28.
Okay,
so
yeah.
When Adrian was at CSI, this is like 2010. So they had to be like
young.
I don't know, 13, 12. So that right there, I didn't understand the connection. But the Renee lady, okay, so damn. So this is where Adrian starts losing me. This is where I think he's throwing curveballs. Because Nate Miles hasn't been back in Idaho since probably 20. Okay, so Nate Miles is a basketball star, phenom. He was supposed to go to the NBA. He's from Toledo. He's like a year older than us.
And after speaking with Jay many, many, many more times, Jay started to see the bigger picture here, and that this isn't just curveballs Adrien's throwing out there. You know, he wants to believe during this first conversation that we have that Adrien's throwing out curveballs because he loves his friend. He doesn't want to believe he has anything to do with Michael Vaughan's abduction or murder or anything having to do with it. And he's trying to make sense of it.
I actually wrote a script on this whole guy's life. He had a very, very real deep story at the University of UConn, University of Connecticut. He ended up getting kicked out. It was a big, big scandal with the coach and some agents.
He's talking about Nate Miles, by the way.
Big. That's why he ended up at Southern Idaho, because he got kicked out of Connecticut. He had to go to Southern Idaho to finish out that year. And Adrian went there. I mean, Nate went there. This is interesting. Nate used to mess with the girl that Adrian ended up having a baby with. So
okay.
So Nate went to that school. Renee is this woman who, and I only know because I remember this for so long ago. Renee was a woman who she used to look out for players at CSI. Like most kids, none of them are from Idaho. You know what I mean? So she used to kind of was like a mother away from home for a lot of these kids, and that's how it was presented to me at first.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, because the next year that's when Adrian goes there, and let's say it's a year and a half later, Adrian goes to CSI, and when he's there, he meets this Renee lady too, and he's telling me like, yes, Adrian, Nate used to live with her a little bit. She used to give Nate money. I've been on the phone with her and I listened to her talk, and she used to look out for Adrian. All right, come to find out, without so many words, Renee was having sexual relationship with his players.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So she was she was having sex with the players and doing little things for them, buying them food.
So Renee not only having S with these players, these basketball kids at College Southern Idaho, in Twin Falls, you know, she's got Adrian doing some bad stuff too. I mean, she's giving them money. She's buying them clothes. She's, feeding them. She's becoming like a mom. She is pretty much grooming them to do for her what she wants them to do. And since these kids are from all over the United States going there to play basketball, Lost doesn't have family and stuff like that, she really takes advantage of some of these boys. And one of these boys is Nate Miles, who is in Ohio, who is, went to basketball at the college or play basketball for the college in Twin Falls. You have Adrian there also in Twin Falls. You have Nate Miles now in Twin Falls. There's this huge connection in Twin Falls, and Alexi calls Renee his mom. So he's part of these boys. And she's sleeping with them all. It's just not a normal thing that somebody that is there to, be there for the boys, to coach them, to advocate for them, make sure that they're doing good and everything else. It's just totally, I can't even think of the word right now. I'm having a brain fart. I need to check my blood sugars while the rest of this plays.
And giving them money and clothes and stuff. So I'm sure Adrian probably met some people at that point. But regarding to when he came back to Idaho, those guys, when he says the carbon monoxide poisoning and they're trying to kill him and even throwing Nate,
he only threw out Alexi's name trying to kill him. And then at another point, of course, we have the Pope twin recording where he's pretty much threatening Adrienne and saying, like, I didn't kill the kid. I had nothing to do with that. Keep talking about it, and I'll come after you, pretty much, is what he's saying. We all know what he's saying, you know.
From what I understand, yes, Renee was employed by the college. Don't quote me on that. I believe she was, though, like, even like a coach of some sort. And another coach that was there, he assaulted Adrienne while he was there at that college also.
So that's where the Pope, twins come in. The thing is all of these people are all tied to some pretty huge rings, drug trafficking rings, sex trafficking rings, and everything.
Okay. Now, this is where I think maybe Adrienne knew these kids when they were young, when he was in Twin Falls. So when he comes back, I think he was trying to hustle maybe he had some meth or something. He was trying to hustle. He only people he knew was people from Twin Falls.
Jay here is just trying so hard to put the puzzle pieces together in his mind as he's finding out more information from me. I just feel so bad for Jay because he's really here just like, well, maybe Adrienne just had some rugs that he was trying to get rid of or something. He wants not to believe that his best friend has anything to do with this. And he's just trying so hard to make sense of it.
So I think maybe he reached out to them. Maybe he could have had something going on the little time he was there, or trying to establish some kind of connection on a drug trade.
Mm-hmm.
But what it sounds like to me, when you said the carbon monoxide thing and how he threw their names out, and then he brings up Nate, that sounds to me the schizophrenia bipolar thing where he's just throwing shit out there. I mean, this guy told me.
But he's not just throwing shit out there. Adrienne, people were trying to hurt Adrienne after Michael Vaughan was abducted. The Pope twins tried to get him in Portland. There's this carbon monoxide incident that he blames Alexei for. I mean, and then Adrienne's gone. Just 3 or 4 weeks after Michael Vaughan's abduction, between like the 20th and 22nd. Gone, does not come back. And it's because there are people in Idaho that want him gone. There are other people that, for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because Adrienne was throwing their names around. I don't know.
A world-renowned singer, R&B singer, that was like partially his step cousin, was trying to kill him. He told me I was trying to kill him. And then when I was like, hey man, I'm not trying to, if you're going to say weird shit like that, man, we can't talk.
Yeah, and that's understandable, but then again, if you look at it as like he did have some kind of involvement with Michael's disappearance, and he was doing drugs while he was at the Wanderer's house, then Sarah Wanderer was arrested for having even hydrocodone on her. So if he had some kind of involvement with Michael's disappearance, and then you're getting high, and then your name comes up, you're going to get super paranoid on drugs.
Yes. So that's where, because the timeline of when the kid goes missing, and for me talking to Adrienne, how he just went completely, like his brain is completely gone, that's what kind of happened. That's what I'll take in as well. It's like, this dude was getting high on all type of drugs, the paranoia of this coming in, and not because he literally started out of nowhere. I'm telling you, he started, hey, these people are trying to kill me. This guy in LA is trying to kill me because I slept with his nephew, and all. Now, mind this homosexual stuff came out of.
I just want to rewind just a little bit more, but here again, he's talking and giving more information about this incident with somebody's nephew. And Adrienne being homosexual and them wanting to hurt him. Let me just go back a little bit.
Coming in, and not because he literally started out of nowhere. I'm telling you, he started, hey, these people are trying to kill me. This guy in LA is trying to kill me because I I slept with his nephew and all. Now, mind, this homosexual stuff came out of nowhere.
He is saying that in Adrien's own words, Adrien said because he slept with this guy's nephew. Did you guys hear that? Adrien told him, this guy wants to hurt me because I slept with his nephew. Why else would this guy want to harm Adrien for sleeping with his nephew unless his nephew was young? I don't know. It is crazy to me. And then, of course, you have Jay kind of trying to, he was just talking so crazy. And then he mentions this because he's trying even to not believe the fact that Adrien just got done telling him people want to hurt him down in Los Angeles for sleeping with this guy's nephew. Because once again, you're his best friend. Who wants to believe that their best friend had anything to do with an abduction or having anything to do with sleeping with somebody's nephew?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Again, Adrien was a ladies' man, known for it. Very, very good with the ladies. Never a pig, but he just had his way. I mean, they were attracted to him. 6'5". His dad's from where is it? Not in Ghana, Guyana, down in South America. That's where his dad's from.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to play this whole exotic look. You see how his sister look. So he tries to do this whole thing as to where he was like, yeah, you guys, you trying to kill me because I'm gay and all this, and I'm like, yo, what? That threw me off. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, I'm gay. All this and that. And he started telling me about somebody molested him when he was asleep. This was like recently. He was like, yeah, he was hanging with some guy and he fell asleep over his house and he woke up in his boat.
Adrien was assaulted when he was young, very young, going to Catholic school, and then again as a teenager. And also manipulated by Renee, who was sleeping with Adrien along with lots of other boys from the college who she was, doing things for, being completely manipulated and sexually manipulated at the time, using her own sexuality to get what she wants out of these boys and by giving them money and buying them things. My grandson's going off. My phone's going off because he's sending me a list of Christmas gifts.
So, yeah, it was a lot of random shit he was saying.
Oh, damn.
And it was like, yeah, it was things where I had to decipher. It was so out of whack and incoherent that I would have to, as he's saying that, I would just have to decipher what he's saying. Okay, this makes sense, doesn't make sense. Because he kept saying the rape stuff and all that before the gay. So I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He's like, yeah, dude might have, man, somebody could have pricked me with a needle. Or he was saying a lot of very weird. Doesn't sound like him. It just doesn't sound like anybody normal. Like how we're having the conversation now, it was just all over the place.
When was the last time you talked to Adrien?
So that was 2022. February.
Oh yeah, you said February of 2022 on Valentine's
Day. That's probably the last time I spoke to him on the phone. He's messaged me since then from random accounts on Instagram. This way he'll message me. He'll be like, "Why, man? Why are y'all trying to kill me?" I don't even respond to it. I found a way to block any kind of. So if he makes an account, any other account that's
well, if you have, well, how do I put this? Well, if you're friends with anybody that he's fearing right now,
I don't. That's the issue. We branched off so much. I don't know any of these people, so it's like he knows that. It's like his sister ain't talked to him.
The stuff with Adrien that happened at the college was while he was going there to college, and the stuff that happened with this kid's nephew happened afterwards. From what I gather talking to Jay, this is I don't want to say recent because that makes it sound like not long ago, but enough recently that it is causing Adrian to be very paranoid about these people coming after him. Enough recently that, yeah, he's stressing out about it really bad. But definitely after college.
His sister probably hasn't spoken to him in probably 12, 13 years. And he bringing her name up. And she doesn't want, let alone to harm him. She doesn't even want nothing to do with them, He's bringing up his cousin, Lyfe Jennings, this famous guy, who hasn't probably talked to Adrian in 20 years. So when he's saying stuff about the car, I don't believe that. I don't believe that was someone trying to do that to him. I believe Adrian, now this is where I'm at with it. I believe Adrian might have some information. Do I believe Adrian? I can't understand the motive that he would have to harm the kid like that, but I could see him being at the house and someone went down to the house and he just kind of naturally got involved with maybe discarding. But I could see that happening because the way he's acting is like, I don't know. If it was me, I was like, hey, man, let's talk.
Oh yeah, well he's been on the run since, and he hasn't came back to Idaho since either, and he's pretty much staying on the down low. So
yes,
what?
But my issue is, why haven't they sent out like the cops? Or why haven't they sent nobody to come get him? Or why is he just? Is there no warrant for active warrant out of Fruitland?
Well, they were looking for Brandon and Adrian, and then they found them, and then they spoke to them, and so without any evidence to directly point fingers at these suspects, I mean, they have enough information, yes, that they know that there's involvement there. They know that Michael Vaughan was buried in that backyard and that his body was moved. Stacy Wandra and Sarah Wandra were both incarcerated during the time that, Stacy was incarcerated during the time that Michael's body was moved in the yard.
Oh, so he wasn't even out at the time when it was supposed to be moved.
No, he was incarcerated on other charges not related to Michael. Now, when they get to Fruitland, and the tip that law enforcement got was from Stacy.
So, that is 4 recordings that we're going to go over tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to eat dinner with my grandbabies, and then Thursday I'll go live again to go over, I think I have like 4 or 5 more recordings, but we're already in like 2 hours. All I know, you guys, is I have been talking with Jay for over a year. He is a very, very, very good man. He was a good enough man that he cut ties with his best friend because his best friend was out running all over the United States, having kids, wasn't trying to be a father, was doing rugs, was doing all kinds of stuff. And then he finds out that Adrian is involved and now a suspect in the Michael Vaughan case. And Jay wants nothing but justice for Michael. It meant so much to him that he didn't care what he had to do. He got a hold of Adrian. They messaged back and forth. He was doing everything he possibly could to get Adrian to just talk about the information. And like I said, I went over all of those messages in a different live before. And it was another one kind of like the same thumbnail here that you see here.
For me,
it's almost the same thing. I believe it even had like a 666. I don't know. I could find it probably and put it up for you guys, or if one of the moderators could go find it and share the link real quick. That's where I went over all of the messages And he got Adrienne to talk about some pretty specific things. Like Adrienne says, sacrifice gone wrong. Sacrifice gone wrong. Michael Vaughan ends up dead. That's a sacrifice gone wrong. You know, he says, y'all traffic kids, talking specifically about the Wanderers and Brandon, deflecting himself, of course, away from it. But after Thursday, next week, because I'm going to spend part of the weekend putting together some more information that I have collected that is all in my phone right now, to go over more information about Adrienne. There's even a song that he put on SoundCloud that I have a recording of that he has taken off of SoundCloud, where he talks about not Michael Vaughan case, but just the fact that people want to kill him for stuff that he didn't do. And the wording in the song is just so friggin' crazy. Halo Art, just found it. I believe this is the one that, if you guys want to click on that link, has all of the messages, more information about Adrienne. I believe I even talk more about registered S offenders and stuff that are connected to Adrienne, which is just another big rabbit hole, you guys. Because Brandon and Adrienne, some of the RSOs that they're connected to, those RSOs are connected to bigger S trafficking things. And the only two that know those particular RSOs are Brandon and Adrienne. And I can't give specifics or names of these RSOs, of course, on my live. I can't give them out because it's all part of like an investigation. But it's just very telling to hear all of this information. And like I said before, to get to know Adrienne Lucienne, the best way was to talk to Jay. And I'm so very happy that he reached out to me, that he wanted to talk, that he has continued to do everything he possibly could to find justice for Michael. And his heart's just in the right place. I mean, you know, he even told me, JLR, if you listen to me, I don't know if you're out there, but you made a big mistake. No, I'm just teasing JLR. Jay actually reached out to JLR and emailed him to get a hold of him because he wanted to tell this story to somebody so it would get out there. And JLR never got back to him. You know, and he's only in it because he really felt like he reached out to law enforcement before he even talked to me, to get a hold of the tip line. And then he was trying to get information from police to know, like, if, you know, do you guys need anything from me or whatever? And because he didn't have a tip to give law enforcement, they were kind of just, they kind of weren't like getting back to him on anything. It is, Melissa, it is huge. All of this information really helps you get to know Adrienne, which when you are a true crimer, when you're into true crime, the best way to get to know a suspect, the best way to get to know anybody is to know their life, to get to know them personally, find out who they are. So yeah, I'm just really glad that, you know, there are a lot of people here thanking Jay. Thank you guys so much. He's a wonderful man. Oh, thank you. Nicely done. I appreciate that. Yep, TikTok, Adrienne. Yes, Ellie has spoken to him. They tried to get Jay to reach out to Adrian and tell him, like, come talk to us. And it was kind of the same thing with Brandon and, get a deal. Come talk to us. Maybe you could get a deal kind of thing. But he never reached back out to Jay. And I mean, Jay has spoken with Frank. We've got a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of stuff going on, you guys. Stacy Wandra has been filing stuff at court. Brandon Shurtleff is about to get out of jail in Canyon County, and he may have to go spend more time somewhere else because I'm seeing that there's a hold on him when he gets out. Sarah Wandra may be officially charged with something here soon. We've got lots and lots more information to go over on Adrian. So please hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, subscribe. You want to hit that notification bell no matter what, just to know when I go live. It could be spur of the moment. It's the holiday season. Everybody's got lots of going on, and I'm going to have to fit things in when I have time. So Adrian was in Indiana in October because he got arrested October 3rd for unauthorized entry to a vehicle that we now know was a school bus on school property. A warrant was issued for his arrest in Indiana in October. On October 20th, actually, he was supposed to go to the court hearing for that unauthorized entry to the motor vehicle. Didn't show up for court. So Indiana, last we heard, is he still there? I don't know. I have lots going on in Indiana is pretty much all I can say right now. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of eyes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I'm not saying law enforcement doesn't know where Adrian is because I'm not privy to that information, but I mean, we, the public, have found out about his arrest and stuff in October. Appreciate you mods for coming in tonight. I have to go to work. I went to work for 5 or 6 hours today, and now I'm going to get off here and go back to work. And then me and my hubby, I think, are going to go eat dinner. Again, if there is anybody that has any information about Michael Joseph Vaughan, he was abducted on July 27th, 2021. The 4 named suspects are Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucienne, and Brandon Shurtleff. Brandon Shurtleff will be getting out of jail, or he'll be staying in jail on the hold that we see now on his court documents. If he gets out, he'll be getting out December 3rd or 4th. If there's another hold on him, he could be spending up to 30 more days, from what I understand, somewhere else. Adrian Lucienne, last we know, was in St. Joseph, Indiana. And Sarah Wandra is currently in prison on unrelated charges to Michael Vaughan. And Stacy Wandra has been arrested, has been charged, and his preliminary hearing, from what I know, was to be December 16th. But from what I'm also hearing, that Stacy Wandra's preliminary hearing, Stacy's trying very hard to get his lawyer to push that out to January, saying that they need time to work on Stacy's case. I haven't seen that yet in the portal. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I did not look today. So I'm wondering if that preliminary hearing is going to be pushed into January. But from what I know, it's the 16th of December. But Stacy Wandra has been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. So if anybody has any tips at all about Michael's abduction, or if you have any information at all about these 4 suspects, something that you've heard, something that you may even think, like, I've had this information for a little bit. I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not. I don't know, I kind of feel like I should say something, but is it really going to matter? If you feel that way, if anything at all inside of you is making you think, should I? Yes, you should. You should come forward with that information. You need to get a hold of the tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. There is over $50,000 reward. You can remain anonymous. Please, if you have any information, I mean, if you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. Be Michael's hero. Help this family. Michael is not coming home the way the family wanted him to come home. He's coming home to be laid to rest. This family has suffered so much over the last 4 or so years, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Brandy Neil Vaughan almost died from her liver disease. She's had a transplant. She's strong. She's ready. Things are going to start happening now that Stacey Wandra has been arrested and been charged. Any information that you have is going to help build this case against Stacey and the other 3 when their charges come up. So please, we already know that the DA told Brandy months and months ago that they were ready to serve or put a warrant out or, go after all 4 suspects. There's not one of them not going to be arrested for Michael Vaughan's abduction and murder. Let's get that perfectly clear, suspects that are listening. It's not going to matter. You can try to run and hide. You can try to go take care of all your dirty business, Brandon, but at the end of the day, you still know where Michael is, and you're still a coward for not telling law enforcement or the family where Michael is. Sarah, you want to sit in prison? You want to talk about how you're going to get away with this? You think you can talk to your husband on a phone conversation about Michael Vaughan? It's in that affidavit that you guys' conversation was about Michael Vaughan and how neither of you guys were going to throw each other under the bus. You admit to have the knowledge when law enforcement comes with a warrant in November of 2022. That's why they arrest you to begin with, for not reporting the death of Michael Vaughan. You said Stacey buried Michael in the backyard. You are talking about this case, Sarah, and you're going down. Adrienne, Lucienne, you think you can message and text message with people? You think you can talk to your best friend, talk about things that have gone wrong? Talk about the price went up, talk about the fact that people trafficked that kid. How can you even mention those things without having knowledge about what happened to Michael, and then sit there and think that nothing is going to happen to you? Stacey thinks that he can try to prolong all of this from happening by filing things with the court, saying, I'm going to plead the 5th, not allowing officers to come and talk to him without an attorney, which is his right. But now he wants to try to prolong this over to January. Doesn't matter. You're still spending time in jail, Stacey, for first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping, just like Sarah's affidavit says. These 4 suspects really think they are going to do what they did and get away with it, and it's not friggin' happening. It's not. We're never going to stop. We're Michael Vaughan's army. We're never going to stop advocating, bringing awareness. Anybody in chat wants to do something, share one of the lives, anybody's lives, not just mine. Share Michael's flyer online. Share information from the news. that Stacy Wandra has now been arrested. Keep Michael's beautiful face, as Brandy always says, beautiful face, a beautiful smile out there. Talk about it. Keep talking about it. We cannot let Michael be forgotten. And as time goes by, now that Stacy's been arrested and that's turning into old news, we got to keep bringing more news, which is exactly what this live was tonight, Adrienne. More news. News on you. What people want to hear about is Adrienne Lucienne, his involvement, and that's about to come out. The whole world's going to know who Adrienne Lucienne is. Again, if you have any information at all, please call a tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Michael deserves justice. His family deserve a hell of a lot more peace than what they have gotten the last 4.5 years. Brandy Neal Vaughn was just in our chat, earlier when this live started, and she's even here now saying Michael will never be forgotten. Not as long as I still have breath in my body, Pinky promise. We know you are never going to forget about him. He will not be forgotten. We are here for you. She was even saying at the beginning of this live that she still waits at the front door. She's still, she's waiting. The whole family is waiting. That's all they've been doing for over 4 years, waiting for action, waiting to find out more information, waiting for the knock on the door that somebody has came forward and said where Michael is so they can bring him home. And it's time for these suspects to just really understand that we're never going to stop. It doesn't matter how much time goes by. We're never going to stop. Michael Vaughan deserves justice, period. He absolutely will never be forgotten. Oh, sorry, my brain is full, right? I don't, Shout out to Jay, for sure. Thank you guys so much. I know the Vaughn family appreciates every single one of you guys coming in. He will never be forgotten, and that's because we're never, ever going to allow it to happen. And Michael's family loves him so, so much. It's never going to happen. He'll never be forgotten. I know I will never forget Michael's beautiful face. I don't care how old I am. Yaya, thank you so much. She gifted 5 Missing PNW Crimes Revisited memberships. If you got a membership, please make sure to thank Yaya. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. And I just saw too, did I just see you too just had renewed your membership? Thanks for that, Yaya. I really appreciate you. Okay. But anyway, I am going to get back to work and go eat some dinner. I'm glad to hear that everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving. During the holidays, be careful, stay safe. If you go out and you have a few drinks, call a friend, call a buddy, call your mom. She'll be glad to come pick you up. Call an Uber, call a taxi. Don't be out there drinking and driving. And if you're out on the roads, please be careful of the drunk drivers. This time of year is really hard for some people because they don't have family. And I know, there's a lot of people out there that think maybe I don't really matter. Maybe it doesn't matter if I'm even here. And if you're having those kinds of thoughts, reach out to somebody. There's hotlines to call and talk to people. Just know that you're loved and that, we want you here, that there are people that care. You reach out to people. This time of year can be so very, very hard for people. I know the 4th of December is coming up soon, and that's the day that my mom passed away in 2013. So I get it, and I totally understand. Just be there for your family members, be there for your friends, check in, do little check-ins. Ask your friends, ask the people that you love if they're okay and how they're doing. It makes a difference. It really, really makes a difference. Hot Mess was somebody that got one of the gifted memberships. Wood Chipper got one earlier. This is awesome. Kim, thank you for poking your head in here, girlfriend. Good to see you. All right, you guys. I hope you guys have a lovely night, and I will see you guys again on Thursday. Take care of yourselves.